Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Gaurav Sharma and with me is Renuka, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment, and more. The headlines. Russian President Vladimir Putin announces formal incorporation of 4 Ukrainian regions into Russia. European leaders condemn the move. The United States of America strikes partnership agreement with Pacific Island nations in historic summit, announces $810 million financial support. The United States, South Korea and Japan hold trilateral anti-submarine exercises for first time in 5 years amid missile tests by North Korea. Thailand's Constitutional Court rules Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha can continue in office. In Afghanistan, 19 people killed and several others injured in suicide bomb attack at Educational Institute. And in women's cricket, India to take on Sri Lanka in the opening match of the T20 Asia Cup in Bangladesh tomorrow. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed treaties on Friday to begin the process of incorporating 4 Russian-controlled regions of Ukraine into the Russian Federation. The 4 territories incorporated into Russia consist of Luhansk and Donetsk in the east and Kherson and Zaporizhia in the south. The announcement came soon after referendums were held in the 4 regions, which saw a majority of people voting to join Russia. Ukraine and Western governments have termed the referendums as a breach of the international law. In a televised ceremony in the Kremlin, the Russian president and the heads of the 4 regions put their names on treaty documents to join Russia. In his speech, President Putin declared that Russia has 4 new regions. He said that people living in the regions have made their choice. He termed the results of referendums as the will of millions of people, saying they had the right to self-determination. The Russian president urged Ukraine to cease military action and return to the negotiating table. He accused the United States and its allies of blowing up the undersea Nord Stream pipelines. EU leaders on Friday vowed that they would never recognize Russia's incorporation of 4 more regions in Ukraine and accused the Kremlin of imperiling global security. The grouping of 27 member states said that Russia is putting global security at risk. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres termed Russia's move as a dangerous escalation that jeopardizes the prospects for peace.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the aim of the Indian government is to achieve 35,000 crore rupees defence exports target by 2025. He said the defence manufacturing is an important sector to achieve the goal of self-reliance. Mr. Singh on Friday held a review meeting in New Delhi on the working of the 7 defence companies carved out of erstwhile Ordnance Factory Board. The companies had commenced operations from 1st of October last year.
Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India has achieved another milestone by climbing to the 40th rank in the Global Innovation Index from the 81st position in 2015. Mr. Goyal was addressing the 117th annual session of the PhD Chamber of Commerce in New Delhi today. He said that the government has focused significantly on the ease of doing business and decriminalizing sections of law which have been harassing businesses. Mr. Goyal said that businesses should be allowed to flourish with the confidence of a collaborative government.
In today's Hotspot section, we bring you news commentary on India as the top destination for foreign direct investment.
The government has said that India is on track to attract $100 billion in foreign direct investment in the current fiscal on account of economic reforms and ease of doing business. In 2021-22, India received the highest ever foreign inflows of $83.6 billion. This FDI has come from 101 countries and invested across 31 union territories and states and 57 sectors in the country. On the back of economic reforms and ease of doing business in recent years, India is on track to attract $100 billion FDI in the current financial year, said the Commerce Industry Ministry in a statement. India received a record high foreign direct investment FDI inflow of rupees 6,31,050 crore in financial year 2021-22. The data particularly showed that the amount of FDI equity in the manufacturing sectors increased by 76% in the fiscal year 2021-22 to rupees 1,58,332 crores from rupees 89,766 crores in the previous year. To put this in perspective, India's foreign investment has two major components: foreign direct investment (FDI) and foreign portfolio investment (FPI). This increase in FDI is significant for economic growth recovery, especially when foreign portfolio investment (FPI) outflow is occurring due to the increase in the interest rates by Federal Reserve, the US Central Bank. The recent increase in FDI is the outcome of the government's policy decisions of increasing the FDI caps in several sectors, including manufacturing, defense, civil aviation, retail, telecom, retail trading, insurance, pharmaceuticals, e-commerce and construction and development. The transition from volatile foreign portfolio investment, which is predominantly the hot money which responds to rise in interest rates in US, to stable FDI is crucial for sustainable economic growth upturn, and this trend is welcome. Foreign direct investment (FDI) in the manufacturing sector is under the automatic route. The Government of India has taken a significant policy decision allowing 100% FDI in non-critical sectors through automatic route, which does not require security clearance from the Home Ministry. The prior government approval is required only for the sectors including defense, telecom, media, private security agencies, civil aviation, mining and satellites. In addition to these sectors, any foreign direct investment (FDI) from Pakistan and Bangladesh also require prior government approval. Manufacturing activities may be self-manufacturing by the investee or contract manufacturing in India with a legal basis. This is subject to the provisions of the FDI policy. However, an entrepreneur can promote its merchandise through wholesale or retail, including through e-commerce, without obtaining government approval. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) has taken enabling measures to strengthen the capital inflows, which includes exemption of incremental foreign currency non-resident bank and non-resident external rupee deposits from cash reserve ratio (CRR) and statutory liquidity ratio (SLR), and permitting of foreign portfolio investment in commercial paper and non-convertible debentures with an original maturity of up to 1 year, amongst others. The state-level data of FDI revealed that Karnataka and Maharashtra were the highest FDI recipient states in India in the financial year 2021-22. This is as per the recent statement from the Government of India. Karnataka received 37.55% of the FDI equity inflows in India. In Karnataka, a significant component of FDI equity inflow in FY 2001-22 has been reported in the sectors including 35% in computer software and hardware, 20% in automobile industry and 12% in education. Maharashtra received 26.26% of the FDI inflows in India in FY 2021-22. Delhi received 14% of total FDI inflows. To conclude, the surge in FDI is due to the significant policy decisions taken by the Government of India in the recent years to establish a liberal and transparent foreign direct investment (FDI) policy in India, especially through enabling the automatic route of FDI inflows in most of the sectors in India. The Commerce and Industry Ministry said that the government reviews the FDI policy on an ongoing basis and makes significant changes from time to time to ensure that India remains attractive and investor-friendly destination.
India's G20 Sherpa Amit Kant led an official delegation to the third G20 Sherpa meeting in Yogyakarta from the 26th to the 29th of this month. During the deliberations, Mr. Kant reaffirmed India's commitment and active support to Indonesian presidency's efforts to finalize meaningful outcomes for the forthcoming G20 Bali summit in November. He also emphasized the need for G20 to bring enhanced global focus on strengthening international cooperation and efforts in key priority areas such as sustainable growth, accelerated progress on sustainable development goals, and addressing climate change. On the sidelines of the G20 Sherpa meeting, Mr. Amitabh Kant also held bilateral interactions with his visiting Sherpa counterparts from Brazil, France, Germany, Japan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Spain, the United Kingdom and the United States of America.
The second round of Foreign Office consultations between India and Nigeria was held in New Delhi on Thursday. Both the sides reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations covering political, economic and commercial investment, defence and security, development partnership, capacity building, cultural and consular matters. They also discussed ways to further strengthen the close bilateral ties between India and Nigeria. The two sides also exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest and agreed to enhance their cooperation in the multilateral fora. Relations between India and Nigeria have traditionally been warm and are based on shared historical ties, values of democracy and vision. There have been regular visits taking place from both the sides. Defence cooperation between the two countries has been nurtured over the years. India had helped Nigeria in setting up their defence academy. The bilateral trade and Indian investment in Nigeria have been growing steadily. The bilateral trade during 2021-22 was $14.95 billion, with India importing oil to the tune of $10 billion. India is one of the largest investors in Nigeria. Indian investment in Nigeria is estimated at approximately $19.3 billion.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
The United States struck a partnership agreement with Pacific Islands nations on Thursday. According to media reports, the United States and more than a dozen Pacific Island nations vowed to strengthen their partnership in the declaration. U.S. President Joe Biden told the nations that Washington was committed to increasing its presence in the region amid growing concern about China's growing military and economic influence. The declaration said that Pacific leaders welcome the United States' commitment to enhance its engagement, including by expanding its diplomatic presence, the ties between our peoples, and U.S. development cooperation across the region. The United States also announced $810 million financial support and said it would recognize Niue and Cook Islands as sovereign states. Leaders from Fiji, the Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Palau, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, the Solomon Islands, Tonga, Tuvalu, the Cook Islands, French Polynesia, and New Caledonia were attending the two-day summit that started on Wednesday. The region has strategic importance as the gateway to Asia from the Pacific.
The United States, South Korea and Japan navies staged trilateral anti-submarine exercises for the first time in 5 years on Friday amid tension over North Korea's series of missile tests. According to media reports, the drills were held in international waters off the Korean Peninsula east coast. The U.S. Navy has said that the drills will enhance interoperability and tactical and technical coordination between the three countries. The South Korean Navy in a statement said that the exercises are designed to improve their capability to respond to increasing North Korean submarine threats, including its submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The trilateral exercises are taking place after North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast. Thursday's test was the third such launch in 5 days by North Korea, which has fired an unprecedented number of missiles this year.
U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns on Thursday said China is endangering peace in Southeast Asia with its overreaction to U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, reiterating that there is no shift in America's One China policy as alleged by Beijing. Ms. Pelosi visited Taiwan in August, becoming the highest-ranking American official in 25 years to visit the self-rule island claimed by China, which conducted a series of provocative military drills in retaliation to the visit. Speaking online at the Milken Institute Asia Summit in Singapore, Ms. Burns said Beijing's overreaction to Pelosi's visit to Taipei risks a peaceful resolution. Nicholas Burns, who was appointed U.S. Ambassador to China in March, said countries in Southeast Asia should also be concerned about China's aggression in the Taiwan Strait, given its importance as a major shipping route. Burns said China is trying to erase the 68-year-old median line in the Taiwan Strait. They fired missiles over Taiwan into the Japanese economic zone and stimulated a naval blockade and air blockade.
Thailand's Constitutional Court ruled on Friday that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha can continue in office as he has not reached an 8-year term limit as the Prime Minister. The move will enable Prayut to resume his duties after being suspended last month. According to a statement issued by the court, judges of the court voted 6-3 to decide that under the 2017 Constitution, which came into effect on the 6th of April 2017, the account of Prayut's premiership should start from that day, and thus he has not completed his term as the Prime Minister. Opposition lawmakers had petitioned the court to decide on their contention that Prayut, who took power as the army commander in a 2014 coup, had violated the 8-year limit for prime ministers that was included for the first time in Thailand's constitution. In August, judges of the court agreed by 5 votes to 4 to suspend the premiership of Prayut, following a petition filed by the opposition parties in the court to decide on their contention that Prayut, who took power as the army commander in a 2014 coup, had violated the 8-year limit for prime ministers that was included for the first time in Thailand's 2017 constitution. During the period, Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan had been serving as the interim Prime Minister, while Prayut remained as the Defence Minister. Prayut officially became the Prime Minister in a military government in August 2014 and was named the Prime Minister again after a 2019 election. Using 2014 as a starting date, he would have reached his legal limit last month.
In Afghanistan, at least 19 people were killed and dozens other wounded in a suicide bomb attack at an educational institute in the capital, Kabul, on Friday. According to media reports, the explosion took place inside an education center in a Shiite area in the Dashti Barachi neighborhood in the Afghan capital. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack so far.
President of India Draupadi Murmu on Friday conferred the 68th National Film Awards on the winners in New Delhi. The Dada Saheb Phalke Award for the year 2020 was given to the legendary actress Asha Parekh. The Best Feature Film Award was given to the Tamil film Surarai Potru. Hindi film Tanaji the Unsung Warrior got the award for the Best Popular Film, providing wholesome entertainment. Ajay Devgan received the Best Actor Award for the film Tanaji the Unsung Warrior, and Surya also received the Best Actor Award for the film Surarai Potru. Aparna Balamurali was awarded the Best Actress Award for Surarai Potru. Addressing the gathering, President Murmu praised actress Ms. Asha Parekh for her contribution to the Indian cinema. She said that films and filmmakers play a leading role in nation building.
भारतीय सिनेमा को असाधारण योगदान देने वाली आशा पारेख जी को दादा साहेब फाल्के पुरस्कार दिए जाने पर मैं उन्हें विशेष तौर पर बहुत बहुत बधाई देती हूँ। आशा पारेख जी ने दर्शकों का असीम प्रेम अर्जित किया है। उनकी पीढ़ी की हमारी बहनों ने अनेक बंधनों के बावजूद विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में अपनी पहचान बनाई। आशा जी का सम्मान उद्यम महिला शक्ति का सम्मान भी है।
Speaking on the occasion, the Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said that cinema is poetry in pictures, mirroring marvel of all that makes people feel alive and human. He also mentioned the role played by the over-the-top OTT platforms during the COVID pandemic.
Today, cinema has crossed the boundaries of theatre and reached the comforts of our homes and mobile phones with the advent of the OTT. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen how OTT platforms has emerged and how the numbers have grown. And in the midst of the grim reality of COVID and fragile global macroeconomic conditions, the Manoranjan and messaging provided by you was only beacon of hope for all of us.
All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of Ayush, which is playing an important role in making New India healthier.
Ayush is the acronym of the medical systems that are being practiced in India, such as Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. These systems are based on definite medical philosophies and represent a way of healthy living with established concepts on prevention of diseases and promotion of health. The basic approach of all these systems on health, disease and treatment is holistic. It addresses the root cause rather than just the symptoms and is excellent for managing chronic illnesses. In 1995, with the objective of optimal and focused development of these systems, the Department of Indian Medicine and Homeopathy was created in the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. In 2003, this department was renamed as Department of Ayush. This department was made into an official ministry by the NDA government in 2014. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that to promote the traditional medicine industry, India will launch Ayush Mark, which will give authenticity to quality Ayush products made in the country.
आयुष प्रोडक्ट्स के निर्यात को प्रमोट करने के लिए भी बीते सालों में अभूतपूर्व प्रयास हुए हैं। दूसरे देशों के साथ आयुष औषधियों की परस्पर मान्यता पर बल दिया गया है। इसके लिए हमने बीते सालों में अलग अलग देशों के साथ 50 से अधिक एमओयू किए हैं। हमारे आयुष एक्सपर्ट्स ब्यूरो ऑफ इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड्स के साथ मिलकर आईएसओ स्टैंडर्ड्स विकसित कर रहे हैं। इससे आयुष के लिए 150 देशों से भी अधिक देशों में एक विशाल एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट खुलेगा।
Speaking of Heal in India, he also announced that a special visa category will be created for those who want to travel to the country to avail of Ayush therapies.
जो विदेशी नागरिक आयुष चिकित्सा का लाभ लेना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए सरकार एक और पहल कर रही है। शीघ्र ही भारत एक विशेष आयुष वीजा कैटेगरी शुरू करने जा रही है। इससे लोगों को आयुष चिकित्सा के लिए भारत आने जाने में सहूलियत होगी।
Yoga has now become the icon of global health, and many countries have started integrating it in their healthcare delivery system. Similarly, there is a great curiosity to understand the principles and practice of Ayurveda, homeopathy, Siddha and Unani, especially due to growing challenges in medicine in non-communicable diseases, lifestyle disorders, long-term diseases, multi-drug resistant diseases and emergence of new diseases. Ayush addresses gaps in health services, provides low-cost services in far-flung areas, and provides best care to the elderly. Problem of tobacco and drug abuse can be tackled by Ayush, especially through yoga. It is useful in lifestyle diseases like diabetes and hypertension. Large part of the population prefers Ayush as it is perceived to have lower side effects. Ayush medicines that come under the category of experienced medicine are cost-effective, known for safety issues, and time-tested. Ayush medicines are widely used as a stand-alone option or as adjunct with biomedicine in the long-term diseases. Therefore, the relevance of Ayush has become more now because of this change in health paradigm. Keeping this fact in view, the government is encouraging a pluralistic approach in healthcare where every medical system is allowed to grow on the basis of its evident strengths. To sum up, Ayush has a major role in making New India healthier. India can take scientific leadership in healthcare only when modern and traditional knowledge systems work together, accepting and mutually respecting their respective strengths. In Charak's words, nothing is impossible for those who have scholarship, thoughtfulness, wisdom, attentiveness, diligence and action.
देश भर में धूम मचाए ज्ञान का ये उपहार, मोबाइल पे आजादी क्वेस्ट आया आजादी का इतिहास। डाउनलोड करे आजादी क्वेस्ट, ये लो जीतो ढेरों इनाम, मौका पाए जुड़ने का रेडियो और डीडी के साथ। सिर्फ खेल नहीं उत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है।
डाउनलोड करें आजादी क्वेस्ट ऐप और पाएं ढेरों इनाम।
The Sensex and the Nifty today witnessed losses of more than 1.5%. A report from the business desk.
At the stock market, snapping 7 days of losses, Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange surged 1,017 points or 1.8% to end at 57,427 today. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange jumped 276 points or 1.6% to 17,094. Among other global stock markets, key indices in Asian markets ended mixed. Also, Japan's Nikkei 225 index declined 1.8%. China's Shanghai Composite Index fell 0.6%, and South Korea's Kospi Index slipped 0.7%. But Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index inched up 0.3%, and Singapore's Straits Times Index gained 0.5%. In Europe, London's FTSE 100 and Germany's DAX had traded marginally higher, while France's CAC 40 had gained 0.4% in intraday trade. Global crude oil prices were little changed, underpinned by a weaker US dollar and the possibility that OPEC Plus may agree to cut crude output when it meets on October 5. So Brent crude futures for November gained 14 cents to trade at $88.63 a barrel. But US crude futures shed 11 cents to $81.12 a barrel. Back home, gold advanced by 406 rupees to 50,722 rupees for 10 grams at the Delhi Bullions market today on a rally in the international markets. Silver jumped 905 rupees to 57,436 rupees per kilo. And at the foreign exchange market, the rupee appreciated by 52 paise to 81 rupees and 34 paise against the dollar. Arjun Chaudhary for World News, All India Radio.
Moving on to sports now, and in badminton, Indian mixed doubles pair of N. Sikki Reddy and Rohan Kapoor have progressed to the Vietnam Open semi-finals. The Indian pair defeated their higher-ranked opponents, Malaysia's Chia Yi Si and Chan Peng, 21-19, 21-17 in the quarter-finals in Ho Chi Minh City on Friday. N. Sikki Reddy and Rohan Kapoor will take on the world number 35 pair of Lisa Ayu Kusumavati and Rehan Naufal Kusharjanto of Indonesia in the semi-finals on Saturday. Reddy and Kapoor are India's only remaining challenge at the Vietnam Open. World Championships bronze medalist B. Sai Praneeth, junior world number 2 Anupama Upadhyay and Thomas Cup winner Priyanshu Rajawat crashed out early in the tournament.
In women's cricket, India will take on Sri Lanka in the opening match of T20 Asia Cup at Sylhet in Bangladesh tomorrow. The match will begin at 1 p.m. Indian time. In the other encounter tomorrow, defending champion Bangladesh will take on Thailand in the first game of the tournament. Bangladesh is hosting women's international matches after 4 years. A total of 7 teams, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Malaysia and the United Arab Emirates will be competing for the title. The teams will play each other in a round-robin format where each will play 6 games. The top 4 teams will reach the semi-finals. After being held as a 50-over tournament between 2004 and 2008, the Asia Cup moved the T20 format in 2012. The tournament was last held in Kuala Lumpur in 2018, where Bangladesh defeated India in a tight final to clinch the title in 2018. India has won 2 out of 3 T20 editions. Interestingly, when it was played in a 50-over format, India won all 4 titles.
And now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian writes, Australia-New Zealand refugee deal, UN blames mental health toll after just 36 people take up the offer.
South China Morning Post reports Sri Lanka in a hurry to resume China free trade deal talks to get back on the radar after recent unrest.
The Financial Times writes, bomb blast at Kabul Academy exposes growing danger for minorities.
The Japan Times says the US pledges long-term partnership with Pacific Islands amid China concerns.
And the Wall Street Journal writes, China's Xi Jinping re-emerges in public after quarantine. And now, before we end the bulletin, a quick look at the headlines once again. Russian President Vladimir Putin announces formal incorporation of 4 Ukrainian regions into Russia. European leaders condemn the move. The United States of America strikes partnership agreement with Pacific Island nations in historic summit, announces $810 million financial support. The US, South Korea and Japan hold trilateral anti-submarine exercises for first time in 5 years amid missile tests by North Korea. Thailand's Constitutional Court rules Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha can continue in office. In Afghanistan, 19 people killed and several others injured in suicide bomb attack at Educational Institute. And in women's cricket, India to take on Sri Lanka in the opening match of the T20 Asia Cup in Bangladesh tomorrow.
And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan Vaishnavajan by artists from Russia.
Upakar
with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.